I'm Lisa, and you're with Velo Dulce, the show where we talk women, cycling, and life. Velo Dulce is from the Italian phrase La Vida Dolce, which means the good life. These are stories from women around the world on finding the good life through life on a bicycle. My guest today is Miyelani Khumalo. She is not strictly wheels only, and although she said she doesn't really cycle that much, I think she does more than the average pro cyclist. So we will get to that in a second. She ran her very first race on the 19th of January 2013. Since then, she has done over 50 marathons. Yes, that's 42 kilometers for those of you who are thinking it's far on a bicycle. More than 20 ultra marathons, that's more than 42 Ks, and 3 Comrades marathons, the epic race in South Africa. In July 2018, she took part in the washing miler, 100 miler, that's 162 Ks. That would still be far on a bicycle, but yes, she ran it. It is, she says, many call this race crazy. I think it's crazy because it's run over 26 hours. Fortunately, in that race, she crossed the finish line 30 seconds in 26 hours, plus the official cutoff, and was regarded as a did not finish. She started trail running too. She ran the Ultra Trail Lesotho 50 kilometers. Since then, she's done the 76-kilometer Addo trail run, 50-miler Mac, K trail runs across the country, and her personal pride is the 100-miler in Karkloof from 2021, which she said was a true test of courage as she completed the 166 kilometers in 34 hours. I've been to Karkloof, and there is nothing but mountains there. As if that is not enough, she is actually a single mom to 3 active children who are aged 12, 7, and 5. And also, if that's not enough, she is currently studying towards her 2nd degree. She plays golf socially and I believe is training for a Ironman, but we'll get to that in a second. Her catchphrase for life is live before you die. I'm not sure, but I think all of that would kill me. Welcome to the show, Miyelani.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Thank you very much for having me. Such an honor.
So I have to say I have interviewed a lot of women, a lot of pro sports women, and I think that I was the most intimidated for this interview.
Wow.
I was like, okay, so this person is really not human. And I don't know what planet she comes from, but I need to find out how to access some of that. So, because I just look at all of that and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm single in terms of I don't have a family. I consider myself, I wouldn't say an athlete, but I train 6 days a week. I cycle a lot. But I could never imagine all of that on top of 3 kids, on top of studying a 2nd degree. So tell me how this works. What is the secret?
I don't know. I don't even know if there's a secret. I get asked that question a lot. I get asked, how do you do it? How do you manage? How do you keep a balance? And I never really know how to answer that because I don't know. I just do it. I did a 10-kilometer run this morning, 4:30 in the morning before I started work. And on my way to the office, I thought, oh, I'm tired, but oh no, Miyelani, you're just doing a lot. But I go back and I do it. For me, it really has to do with the love of the great outdoors. It's rare that you will find me at home. I pay my bond and I don't even know why I am doing it. I'm hardly at home. So I draw my strength from being in the great outdoors and doing all these crazy things. I like to stretch myself. So I'm always looking for the next, I won't say the next best thing, but I'm always looking for the next best adventure. I also have a problem. I can't say no. I don't have no in my So if you challenge me to something, I will probably say yes. and drive home and cry and think, what have I done? But I'll definitely get it done. In your intro, I must just add that I actually went back 2 weeks ago to do my 100 miler, my
I
washing.
thought I saw that on Instagram. I was going to ask you
Yeah.
about it.
So I did that and I finished this time around.
Amazing. Well
So
done.
I also don't like leaving things undone. I've come to understand that you will fail a lot in your journey, but there's also an opportunity to go back and actually do it right. It doesn't, you don't always have to win. You don't always have to get things right, but there's an opportunity to go back time and time again. Doesn't matter how many times you go back, but you definitely have to go back and do right.
Amazing. By the way, for the audience, I did forget to add that she actually does have also a full-time job, just in case you think like she spends, from Instagram, you might think she just spends her day out running and cycling and paddling, but no.
Yeah, you look, I love what I do. And there was no reason for me to go out for a run this morning. I was extremely tired. But it's when you are out there and you're actually doing it that you actually feel so much better. You feel good about yourself. And it sets a tone for the rest of your day. So I cry and I drag myself out of bed. But when I'm doing it, I'm happy and it's the after effects that keep me going back and back for more.
True.
You asked me how I manage a balance. So I've got 3 very active children so you can imagine with all of these sports that I get involved with, it takes up a lot of time, right? So I had to be very clever around how do I do that which I love while being a single mom and making time for them. So I quickly realized that I can actually, if I involve them in what I do, I'm killing 2 birds, if not more, with 1 stone, because on the one end, I get to train and I get to spend time with them. So yeah, that for me is a big thing.
I like that point, and I want to emphasize that point because I think a lot of women with kids struggle with that. They're like, if I go and do this, then I feel guilty because I'm taking away like family time. But actually, that's like the best family time you could be spending.
Correct. Yes. So
plus you also setting them up. I do believe, like my mother used to take me hiking in the Drakensberg every weekend, which I hated at the time, but now I'm like super thankful for.
Yeah.
Because you grow up with an appreciation.
You do. So my children do everything that I do. My now 13-year-old is on the bike with me. So I go training with him from time to time. We go run together. So I involve them. I get them to do everything so that when they are older, it's up to them to decide, oh, okay, maybe this is the direction that I want to take and so forth. So I almost open up the world for them. And at the end of the day, it's up to them to change, to select what it is that they want to get into.
True. I want to ask you this question early on so that we can move on to more exciting stuff. But do you think I think everyone has an addiction. It's just like what you choose. So obviously sport is our addiction. Do you think there's a bad side to that?
A bad side to having an addiction? I do. In my journey, I've lost a lot of people because of that addiction. Quite recently, a friend sent me a WhatsApp message and she said, you know what, Miyelani, I'm done with you. I'm done with you. You're always canceling at last minute. It's all about this running, and this bike. It's fine. It's over. And the lesson that I took from that was to say, involve the people in your life. Also, being a single mom, I've had to learn to create a support structure. So as an extension of that, I then let the people in my life know of the things that I'm taking part in. So if I'm like recently I was preparing, I didn't prepare much for the Washi 100 mile. It just happened by chance this year.
Yeah, you just went to run 100 miles.
Yes, I did. It happened by chance. But I must tell you something exciting. So I've now gone into adventure racing. So I'm preparing for that.
Wow.
So I've then said
I've done a few.
So I've said to the people in my life, guys, this is what I'm doing. It scares me. I'm going to have to put in a lot of time so that I can do this and do it. So there's then that expectation that they know that any free time that I have,
Right.
most of the time
It's
will go
dedicated.
towards that. Yeah. I do try to fit in other areas in my life. I mean, I go out from time to time. I go see my parents and so forth. So is there a bad side? I think that's the only bad side that I've picked up thus far.
Like you mentioned there, it's about priorities, like at
Yes.
the end of the day.
Mm.
And the sports friendships I have found
Mm.
are like the friendships that stand the test
That's
of time.
correct. That
Because
is so
you have suffered together, you have gone
Yeah.
deep together.
That's so true.
Yeah.
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 So I enjoy also what the sports has been able to do that for me. The people that I've met through sports are just such amazing connections, and it's people that really understand, like you say, understand what you're going through or what you will go through and so forth. So yeah, sports people are just the best.
The best, I know. I can honestly tell you, I came to Spain. I did not speak a word of Spanish. I knew nothing about being here. I went out cycling one day and like a bunch of retired old guys passed me and were like,
Yeah.
come and join us. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, why not? And sport is really like a door opener.
Yes. Oh, definitely.
And it transpires, like what I love about sport is transpires age, it transpires gender, it transpires race, like it's just like a complete leveler.
That's true. That is so true.
Okay, cool. So what are you training for at the moment?
So I'm training for, drum roll, listen closely. I'm training for the Adventure Racing World Champs.
Wow.
Which are taking place in October.
Where?
They're taking place in a small town in St. Francis Bay in the Eastern Cape.
Amazing.
In the Eastern Cape, yeah. So I'm very new to adventure racing. My background really is in running. It was in just before the lockdown, the COVID-19 lockdown, when everyone was trying out new things, right? And I thought, let me get on the bike. But prior to that, I've always had aspirations of doing the Ironman. So I knew at some stage that I'm going to need to get on the bike. But fast forward, we locked down, everyone is doing new things. And I joined this group of ladies that also had never been on a bike, and I started learning. The challenge with that was that I almost want to say I had an abusive relationship with running. So I always kept going back. So it just felt every time I got on a bike, I was starting over all the time. So I never really progressed or gotten any better. But I needed to tick off some boxes within my running space. So once I did that, I then focused on the saddle and I started learning over again, and I started doing that. And then adventure racing found me. And if, as you would know, most adventure races, mountain biking takes up 60% of the race. Mm-hmm. So I did my first adventure race, went very well, but I didn't finish the cycle leg. Did my second adventure race, went exceptionally well, finished the cycle leg, but I needed to get better and better, and hence all the time that I've been spending now on the saddle. Yes. What was the question again?
What are you training for? So just if you're listening, in case you don't know what an adventure race is, it's like the epic of all races. It's like everything thrown together. So you get given a map and you have to plot the coordinates. So if you get those coordinates wrong, you're screwed before you even started. It's a bit of orientation, and then they will tell you, okay, between point A and B, you have to use your bike, or between B and C, you have to paddle, and that's all they give you, and the rest is up to you. Teams typically don't sleep, which I did really challenge me a lot.
Yes.
And yeah, it's the ultimate endurance test, I would say.
Yeah. Being this adventurous person that I am, when I heard about it, I was like, ugh. So our course is anything from 700 kilometers. And when I heard about it, I thought, really? Is that what you want?
That's far.
Obviously, this is after I had said yes.
Sure.
Now I'm really not thinking about it, but I'm quite excited. I've got 9 days to complete the race. We've teamed up with a very good team of people. So I'm in a team of 4, as 2 gents and myself and Buhle, who I believe you've also had a conversation
Yes,
with.
I have.
So I really believe I'm in good hands.
You are. If you are
I
with
still
Buki,
struggle a bit on the bike, but yeah, you never say I can't. You do it and you make sure that it gets done.
so let's talk about that. I don't know who's listening to the show. Some lady driving to work who's 20 Ks overweight or just can't see like the next step in her life and is listening to you and is going, this, I don't even know why I'm listening to this because what am I supposed to learn here? Like,
Yeah.
what do you think? What would you like your message to the world to be? And what is your message to that person?
So firstly, my message would be, again, my mantra that I live by, which is to live before you die, right? So all of this started really after finding myself in a very dark space in my life. And I wasn't living, I was just existing. And I needed to find something that will really take me out of that dark space where I can start to live, where I can start to tick off some of the things that I always wanted to tick off, number one. Secondly, a lot of the life lessons I've learned through sports. There is so much you can learn from participating. Teamwork, having to go into adventure racing, we're learning now that it's all about teamwork. And all the people that we're talking to stress the fact that you need to communicate as a team. You need to learn to be there for the other person. It's not so much about you winning and going ahead. You need to make sure that you bring someone along with you. So the life lessons for me, that's, if anything, that for me is the greatest thing. Secondly, it's taught me so much in terms of time management. You asked me earlier when we started, that how do you get it all done? So I'm like I said, I don't have a no in my vocabulary. So I will quickly find something that I need to do. Most of the time I never have a plan, but once I know that I need to do the epic as an example, I start then working towards that. Every Friday at my household, we have a meeting and we talk about what mom doing this weekend. So everybody knows what happens, what needs to happen where. It has taught me to somewhat plan. I'm still trying to learn how to put my plans together, but to prioritize. So for anyone that's listening, really, that it's not sure what to take out of this, is to firstly is for you to get out of your dark place and to start to understand that there's so much life in sport. And also, I must just add, I'm not the girl that wins the races, hey? I never, most of the time, don't win any races, but I am that girl that will show up to the race. I'm that girl that will make sure that I have fun while I'm doing it, and I'll make sure that I finish. And it's the feel-good feeling that you get after crossing the finish line that, you can't take that away from anyone.
Yeah. I also think like sometimes maybe women tend to go like all or nothing. If I can't run a marathon, like I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah.
You can go and walk 5Ks, like around the park, or do a park run at walking pace. Or I find, so for me, movement is so important because movement like moves the energy in your life.
Yes.
Like, so it's like you need to get moving to get your life moving.
Of course. Yes, that's true. Because so I always say, people always say to me, oh, you're all over the place. Do you even work? Where do you get all the money to do all of these things? And I keep saying, I will not sit at my house and feel sorry for myself. I refuse to do that. We've got so many, you can go on the open road, just smell the air and take a walk. You don't have to run. There's so many parks where you can go take your bike and ride your bike. And the feeling that you get after doing that, it's amazing. Yes, I agree. Movement moves. I like that. I'm going to write it down. Movement moves your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can quote me on that. Yes, that's amazing.
I also think like moms, especially, although I think women in general carry a lot of guilt.
Yes.
And I think that It's like, oh, I can't, like, there's a lot of self-imposed
Yes.
limitations. Like, I can't do that because I'm going to let this person down, or I need to do this, or I need to do that.
Mm.
Instead of like the positioning, like, if I do this, I'm actually going to be a better person for those people in my life.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. Women do that. And I'll speak for myself as a mom. There's so much guilt. And you quickly have to learn or tell yourself that there's no book for life or parenting. You do that, you do what works for you. And you always have to make sure that your cup is filled so that you can fill into another person. So you yeah, my advice there would be to say don't dwell on the negative so much. Just recognize that, yes, oh, I'm waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Chances are I'm not going to be there for my children, are not going to see me when they wake up. Who's going to make them breakfast or whatever? Find a way around that. So I find a way around that. So I get my kids to make their own breakfast, which now they love. So it takes away that guilt giving them in the morning. Yeah, be aware of that, but don't dwell on it so much.
Yeah.
Not all of us have it figured out, hey? Not all of us have it figured out.
Listen, I don't think any of us have it figured out. We're just like going day by day and figuring out as we go along. And as soon as you have it figured out, life is anyway going to change. So it's about that adaptive thinking.
Yes, yeah.
I must say, I laugh because I used to be one of those people waiting at 5 a.m. for Virgin Active to open. And here in Spain, like, Spanish people do not do early. So the gym opens here at 7. I'm like, are you crazy? So I'm always waiting outside the gym at 10 to 7. And they're like, yo, Lisa, you wake up so early. I'm like, dude, like, I used to wake up at 4:30. This is late.
This is late, yeah.
Funny.
That's so interesting to have been able to adjust to that. Ah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's been super interesting. So tell me, who inspires you and why?
Phew, I get inspired by my children. And they keep me on my toes in a sense that they're always expecting the next best thing. It's what are you doing next? So I remember when I was still running marathons back then, because they didn't quite understand the concept of running races, they would always ask me, so did you win? And my answer to them was always to say, I came third. I'm never number 1 or 2. I would always say I'm third. Back at the ranch, I'm probably 2,000 at the back. So the one day I take them out on a run, and they were waiting on the side of the road, waiting for me to pass by. And as I do, the shock on their faces to say, dude, what are you doing here? You're not going to make it if you want to be third. So they inspire me. If I don't wake up on a Saturday, I'll hear them knock on the door to say, what are you doing here? So they're always expecting the next best thing from me, and I can't disappoint them. And the nice thing about that is the life lessons that I also transfer to them to say, don't expect that I'm going to win, but know that I will show up. So I show up everywhere. My children inspire me. And also I'm not a big person in terms of social media, but I do like to post what I do from time to time. And the feedback that I get from people to say, if I haven't posted something in a while, they say, are you okay? They'll always check in, are you okay? Please, what are you doing? Your posts keep us so inspired and motivated. So yeah, that also inspires me to want to go out. And a lot of times it's females, which is quite great because we find that not a lot of women actually have the time. I won't say make the time, but they don't have the time to really go out there and run and cycle and do all sorts of things. But the biggest inspiration is my children.
I started the show because I wanted to see what the difference was between the world's best woman in sport and me. Because I train and I cycle and I do quite a lot of stuff and I'm super active, but I wouldn't, from my perspective, I wouldn't describe myself as an athlete. And I
Yeah.
wanted to see what was that difference. And I think that women in sport need to see that and they need to be that. If I look at when I started the show, it was the first time that there was a Paris-Roubaix for women. And if you look at the women's Tour de France this year, like how much here that coverage took up. They showed it on primetime TV. They showed it on all the channels. And I think that it's super important for women in sport to be the picture of I can. And it doesn't matter what sport, it doesn't matter what size, what like shape.
Yeah.
It's just.
But don't you find that it also takes women like you and I to show the other women that it actually can be done? So what I found is that women who want to start, but they either don't know where, how, or they just don't know where to even begin. And that's where the sisterhood comes in to say, I'm willing to hold your hand and show you the ropes until you get to a point where you're comfortable. But then it's up to you to then pay it forward to the next woman. Imagine if that happened. That would be so amazing. And I also think that this year is the year of the woman having come from, like you were saying, Tour de France and how it was well televised and the participation of females that had increased. We're seeing it now with the Netball World Cup that just finished, the Soccer World Cup.
Yeah.
It's getting there. It really is getting there.
Absolutely.
It's so amazing. It really is amazing. But I do believe it's up to you and I to show the others that it can be done.
Absolutely.
And hold someone's hands through it. I was very lucky with my cycling. I don't know if you are aware of a group called the Matsimela Ladies Clinics.
No.
Started up by Caroline. Amazing stuff. You must look it up on Instagram.
Cool.
Amazing, phenomenal woman. So she gathered a group of women. She started up these cycling clinics. That's where I also started. And she basically just went around and taught females how to ride a bike.
Amazing.
That was during COVID, and that has multiplied. There's a lot of women in yellow. Yellow is their color.
Okay.
So there's a lot of women in yellow, and it's such an amazing thing to watch. And you have a lot of women from different spheres of life, different ages. I get goosebumps just talking about it. But you get a whole lot of women who can now come together and cycle. It's such a beautiful thing to watch.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Absolutely. So where, like, I've never run before. I've never cycled before. Like, I've never been active before. Where do I start?
The easy place to start in the age that we are in is social media. Just look up, there's a lot of groups around of like-minded people that you can find a group, sign up with that group and show up and give it some time. And in no time, you'll be where you want to be. Just start. That's all you have to do.
Absolutely. Just start.
And the beauty of social media now is that you're guaranteed to find somebody that does something that you were saying earlier. We're talking about how great sports people are. We're the most friendliest and welcoming people in the world.
Absolutely.
You're bound to find someone that is willing to hold your hand. But the key here is for you to just start. And figure it out as you go along.
And it doesn't matter what. It can be like a walk around your neighborhood. It doesn't matter what.
Just move. What was it? Movement moves your life. Just move.
So now you spoke previously that you were in a dark place before kind of you started moving your life.
Yeah.
What was that about?
So I just around 2018, 2017, I'm in this very dark place. I'm going through what I call the worst depression of my life. I'm going through a divorce. I've got kids. I don't know if I'm coming or going. And I remember one day I woke up and I couldn't identify with myself. I had always become his wife. I had been their mom. I was not Miyelani, and I needed to change that. And I think I needed to do something At that stage, I had already been running, so I had done about 2 Comrades marathon, but I felt like it doesn't give me my identity yet. I needed to do something to take me away from that dark place. So I mentioned that you will hardly find me at home. So when I was in that dark place, all I ever did was sit in my little corner and feel sorry for myself. So I needed to break that. So I needed to really be in the great outdoors. When you're out on your bike, there's fresh air, there's great people around you. You tend to forget. It's the most acceptable and legal drug there is. It makes you forget. So I needed to do that. Yeah, I was going through the worst divorce of my life. I didn't know if I was going to make it alive, actually. So I had to find something big, and I did in sports, thank goodness.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, I definitely have
And
stayed through my life.
You'll find that there are many people, I won't say women alone, even men, there are many people that are going through struggles in their lives who have turned to substances or other forms of addiction to manage that area that they are in. But there's other acceptable and more beneficial things that you can do to get yourself out of that dark space.
Absolutely.
And just being out in the open, breathing in fresh air would be the first place to start. It worked for me, and I'm sure it can work for a million other people.
Absolutely. And yeah, it doesn't have to be massive, can just something.
Just go out. Now there's hikes, people hike. There's a big phase now. Everyone is hiking.
Right.
Everyone is on the bike. I'm on the bike. So yeah, there is.
Are you enjoying the bike more?
Oh, I love it. Lisa, I just want to be on the bike all the time. I'm still learning a lot of things I'm learning. It was just 2 or 3 weeks ago, I rode my first 100 kilometers. I'm quite excited.
Wow.
I'm actually preparing for a race in September, a 100-miler race in the Western Cape Town.
Wow.
So very excited about it. Race to the sea.
Oh, okay.
Race to the sea, all the way from Hermanus to somewhere in the Western Cape.
Wow.
But it's 100 miles. So I'm quite excited. Yes.
That's on the mountain bike.
On a mountain bike. I've never rode.
Wow.
Road.
That's insane.
Yeah, I've never been on a road bike. And being this adventurous person, I enjoy trails and stuff. Even road riding it bores me. I prefer to be out in the mountains. I love that more.
Don't listen to her.
Riding
a road bike is also amazing. I'm just saying, if you're listening, don't rule out riding a road bike.
Yes,
okay?
Please ride road bikes. Just ride a bike, okay?
No, just ride any bike.
So yeah, I'm signed up for my first Ironman next year, April. So I will definitely have to do it on a road bike. So yeah, I'm going to need to transition very soon for that event.
Amazing.
I'm very excited.
Wow. And your kids, do they come to every race?
They would try. So because I do a lot of off-road things, it's sometimes impossible to have children come out. But where I can take my children, I do. My children have come into terms with waking up at 2:00 in the morning to drive somewhere. And I used to be so frowned upon in the beginning. I used to get called all sorts of names because I would get to a race. So with road running, you mostly have to get to the venue quite early because then
by 6:00.
Yes,
yeah.
And I would rock up there with my children, and used to be told that I'm such a bad parent. Why am I waking my children up so early? But it works for me. They love it. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I've had to go through a lot, but also the other thing, you learn to do what works for you.
Yeah, you have to.
Your
At the end of the day.
So I do what works for me. It works for me. My kids love it. And
that's all that matters.
It really doesn't matter what you think.
Yeah.
Really.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, it has been amazing chatting to you.
It's been awesome.
Thank you for the inspiration.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope I've inspired people and not scared them away.
No. No, it's absolute inspiration.
Great. No, thank you very much, Lisa. I'll definitely visit you quite soon.
Cool. It's
Um,
beautiful. Yeah. Be
I'll
prepared
bring my
for the
bike.
hills.
Are there lots of hills?
There's only hills.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. I can't wait.
I hope you have been as inspired as I have on today's episode of Velo Dulce. Please share with a friend, rate on iTunes, and most importantly, get on your bicycles, grab a friend, drink some coffee,